Hello and good morning. So if you remember last week, my sewing machine was broken. And it was a bigger loss than you even knew then, because although I couldn't fix my pants, I also have sewing projects planned for the next couple of videos you'll see. It probably just needs to be serviced, but there's only one place here in Cedar that services it, and they are closed all weekend. I'm already very behind on these sewing projects because they have a due date. So I went out and I got myself a sewing machine. Now we can resume sewing. We're not gonna fix the pants in this episode. That will be probably a later episode. This episode, we are going to make a dress. Specifically, this dress. So if you don't know who this character is, this is Beatrice from Over the Garden Wall. She is going to be one of my 3 cosplays that I will be making this year. I'm making 3 cosplays because I'm going to Fnaf, Salt Lake, at the end of this month, and I need to get on top of it and actually make my cosplays. But the event goes 3 days, so 3 different cosplays. My first cosplay is gonna be Beatrice. If you've never watched Over the Garden Wall, you should. It is fantastic. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off by making the entire dress out of white fabric, and then we're gonna dye it at the end, so that way we can get it to kind of match color-wise. I've only ever dyed one thing before, and it was my Jinx wig. And it went up okay, like it didn't go bad, so I got high hopes, it'll be fine. Let's go ahead and cut out all the fabric and get all that done and cut out the pattern, and then we'll make it cute. Okay, everybody, now that we are back and we are ready to sew, let's pin things together and then actually start sewing. Okay, so I already started pinning it just so I could give you kind of a reference of what it's gonna look like, but I now have the right sides together, and I am now pinning all along this part. Beatrice has a little bit of trim up on the bodice area. I found literally the perfect stuff in my stash, which is this. It is a little off-white when the rest of the dress is white, so it'll probably dye a little darker, but I'm not mad about that. I'm okay if the ribbon's a slightly different shade, you know? That doesn't really bother me. But here's what she looks like. Is that not literally perfect? So I'm gonna sew the ribbon into the bodice pieces, and here they are, right sides together still. And essentially what you do is you sandwich the ribbon in between the right sides, like that, like this, so that when it flips inside out, or right side out, I should say, the ribbon pokes out. So hopefully that makes sense. Look at her. I know I'm wearing white on white. I'm so sorry. This was a bad shirt choice. But look at her. She's so cute. And look at the little trim. It's so cute. I've got really high hopes about how this dress is going to turn out. I am going to separate the underskirt from the overskirt, at least for now. I'll probably assemble them into one piece after they're dyed. But since it's a lighter color, I want to be able to pull it out sooner than this piece. The sun is starting to go down because I suck at starting things early in the morning. I started this at 2 p.m. and the time is now 4:52 p.m. But I still think I can finish it today. I may not be able to finish it on camera because of lighting. But yeah, so today we're gonna try to make the whole dress, and then tomorrow we'll dye it and do like wig and everything. And then, actually I'm not doing a wig for this one, but her hairpiece and stuff. That's kind of the general vibe, is we're trying to get all of these cosplays done in 2 days per cosplay. Because I am working full-time and I impulse decided to go back to school full-time and still trying to make YouTube. So I'm a little bit busy, just like a little bit. So we're gonna try to get through it and it's fine. And I'm really liking this so far, like pretty dang happy with that. So I'm gonna stop rambling. Okay, we've officially moved downstairs. I got Miss Dolores back with me, and the sun's going down, so I'm gonna film bits and pieces of it, but I'm trying to get through this as quickly as possible, so I will not be talking to you much. But we are now downstairs about to watch a 9-hour video on Fnaf lore that we're about halfway through. So it'll be fun time, and yeah, that's all I've got to say. I am gonna start on the underskirt because it's easier to make in my head, and then we'll make the overskirt, and then we gotta figure out ribbons and stuff. But yeah, let's get going. So I'm entirely too lazy to measure out my waist, so I literally just wrap the fabric around me however many times I want, which I think this time was 5, and then I make a little snip, and then I rip it right where it is, and yeah, that's it for measuring your waist. I don't see the point in having to do the math and try to figure it out. I just find this way a lot easier. Working with animals is a lot of fun because they want to be right where you are and to be right what you're doing, or what they want to see what you're doing, but it does get a little annoying to try to maneuver the fabric around them, especially when they're trying to lay right on the fabric. But Charlie here in the background is being such a sweet boy, so I can't really stay mad. Here I'm just ironing the waistband. I find it a lot easier for massive skirts like this one to just do it now while it's flat and easy and, you know, not three-dimensional quite yet. And then I stitch it down. I do have something called a hemming foot, which essentially has a divider right in the middle of the foot that I line up with the edge of the hem. And then I just run the stitch right next to that. And I find it so easy to hem this way. It makes it a lot faster, and then I don't need to necessarily worry about, like, am I going off, because I can physically see where I am on the skirt. So highly recommend a hemming foot if you have never heard of one. And then I started putting the elastic into the skirt, which again, this is 5 times my waist length, so it definitely took a long time, but it did end eventually.
Okay guys, I didn't bother putting on my mic because I was too lazy. But here we are. Nice and swooshy and full. This part's done, the bodice is done, and now all that's left is the overdress part, which I'm not excited about and I've been avoiding doing it. The one thing though is that this is elastic so it can just slip right on. But I'm gonna be putting a zipper in the back of the bodice and overskirt, and I will not be doing that before it's dyed because I don't know what color it's gonna come out. So we're gonna do that and then find a zipper that's the closest color to it and put that in. Oh, and I haven't hemmed this yet, and I'm not going to hem it until I have found shoes. Overskirt time. Let me figure out what the frick I'm doing.
So for the overskirt, I didn't want it to be as big, so I only wrapped it around my waist 3 times, and then lost the scissors but found them, and then once again made the snip and then tore it right there. And then I sort of free-handed the general shape of Beatrice's overdress. I then ironed the waistband of the bodice part to lie flat so it would look nice when I actually added the skirt into it. And then I added, just put it in and then pinned it. I did pleat it this time, and I did go back and gather it, which you won't see. I just think that gathering looks better, especially because the sleeves are gathered, and that way it kind of just has a more cohesive look.
Okay guys, it's pretty late at night, but I'm gonna quickly sew this waistband on, and then we're gonna call it, and I will see you tomorrow.
And this is a goodbye to Onyx. He is our last kitten to leave us because we have decided to keep Lily, and then Ro is keeping Monty. We're gonna miss him, and he's living his best life with some friends of ours, and I'm so happy to see him grow and to get to see how he develops.
Hey, it has been a wild couple of days. First off, I'm currently filming on my phone because I can't find the cord that plugs the receiver into the camera. So therefore I don't have a working mic except on my phone. So hello, that's fine. We're gonna move on. It has been a couple days since we've last seen each other. I think I filmed on Monday because it was Labor Day, so that was the last time we talked. And then today is now Sunday, so it's been a full week. And during this week, I have been so busy doing homework, going to classes, doing work full-time, and trying to edit last week's video. And what I've come to realize is that there is a lot on my plate right now, and I need to simplify my life a little bit if I'm going to not get super depressed. So what that means for you and me is that the next couple of videos are going to change just a little bit. This one, we are going to completely finish Beatrice's dress today. The next video, I will be doing my next cosplay's main outfit. And then the third video, instead of being a third cosplay, is going to be everything else that comes with cosplays that's not just the main outfit. Today is now Sunday. It's like 3 p.m. I just showered. I'm so depressed, y'all. I'm limping through it, and we're gonna get through it. It's gonna be okay. So let me update you guys on what I have done so far. I did a little bit of work while I was not on camera. So let me show you what I've done this week. I got the little skirt right here, and I pinned the hem. So that is good and ready to be stitched. That's one thing that I did. I don't know if you saw me put on the sleeves. I forgot that sleeves was part of this project, and so I put the sleeves on. I don't remember if I filmed it or not. If I did, ignore this. Sleeves are attached. There's gonna be this trim that's up here. The same trim is gonna start here and go all the way down and, ow, stab myself, stop here. I ironed and pinned in the hem for the sleeves as well. And I now just need to sew it and then add an elastic in here so that it kind of creates a puff sleeve. And then we should be ready to dye it. So I don't think this will take too much time. I definitely have to get started, and I definitely need to get going because Comic-Con's coming and it's not gonna wait for me. We're gonna start by hemming the skirt, and then we're gonna pin on the trim onto here and then stitch that. And then we'll do the sleeves. Next up, we're gonna repin this bit with trim. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, I am starting my second bachelor's degree, and this one is in communication. And I'm not gonna lie, I am loving it way more than my theater degree, which I was not expecting. I am very overwhelmed because I'm doing a lot, but I'm really glad that I chose to make this decision, and I'm really excited to see where it takes me. If you were to get a degree, whether that be your first one or your second one, let me know what it would be down in the comments. Trim's on, everything's hemmed. All that I've got left to do today is the sleeves and then dyeing it. So for the sleeves, they're pinned already. And then I got this little 2 pins going vertical, and I'm gonna leave this space undone. So I'll sew everything else except this, and then I'll put an elastic in and then stitch this part up. This is now stitched. I've got that little space right there. This is the elastic. It's kind of thinner than I would like to use, but it's what I have on hand, so we're gonna use it. First and foremost, this is definitely higher up, which I kind of like. It does have a little bit of skin right there. It doesn't show if it's down. We are good and ready to start dyeing this. I'm very curious to see how this is gonna turn out, especially because if you look at the dress, the underskirt is a lighter color than the over dress. What I'm thinking, what I'm planning, is to do the initial dye and then to maybe add a little bit of a darker color and to leave in longer the over part. So that way they're like in the same tone, but that way it'll kind of achieve that. Also, this is 100% cotton and this is polyester. So they are gonna dye different, and I don't know how that's gonna go, but we will sure find out. Hello and welcome to my kitchen. I have 4 pots of boiling water on the stove right now. that are cooking up because we have a lot of fabric to go through. So we're gonna dye it in a tub outside. So we're warming up the water. This is the dye that we're using. I think I might use just a little bit of a green that I have as well, so that way we can make it a little bit more blue-green. And then for the underskirt, we're gonna basically dip it in, wait a couple minutes and then pull it out. And then for the overskirt, we're gonna wait 30 to 60 minutes. That way they will be along the same lines of the same color, but then the underskirt will be lighter than the overdress. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Bug in there. A bug got in there.
That bug is not alive anymore. Why did you put your hand in it?
Because we're trying to get the bug out.
And then we're just doing like a little bit of this. Give it a stir. I'm so nervous now. I just made this. Okay. All right.
Soup it.
Also, you're supposed to wear gloves when you do this. I am not. I didn't bother. We just finished submerging all of it, kind of mixed it up. We are gonna come back in 5 minutes and do it again, and then do it every 5 minutes until it is the desired color. Okay, so now that this is it's starting to rinse clear, we are now going to throw it in the washing machine with an old towel, and then it's done. And then we're just waiting on this guy to be done. Okay, this guy is now going to get rinsed and then washed, and then we'll put it in the zipper, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. Let's play a little game, all right? I'm going to hold up both articles of clothing, and you're going to guess which one's which, okay? Just based off of color. Here's option 1. Here's option 2. Do they look basically exactly the same? Yes. The dyeing process did not work. So we have a backup option, and that is that the third cosplay I was gonna do that I'm no longer doing, I did get dye for because I was gonna dye it as well. So I do have a darker blue dye, and I'm gonna use it on the overskirt, which also, that's so much darker than the rest of the dress. I think I'm just gonna have to embrace it, and we'll have to just, polyester dyes different than cotton, and I knew it would. But yeah, so we're gonna re-dye it with the darker blue. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I will check back with you guys on a color update. Are you guys ready to see it? Are we ready? Okay, but it's actually like so cute. I was really worried about this being too light of a color, but it actually goes really well with the underskirt. I think it looks beautiful. Let's chat about a couple of things that I still need to work on that's coming up. First off, she has a cute little ribbon right here that I do not have yet. Now that the trim is the color that it's gonna be, I'm gonna find a ribbon that's about the same color and have it there. Still need to find shoes. And then she has a little hair piece. I did dye a little bit of extra trim that I can use for the hair piece. I just need to figure out how exactly I want to make it. So I've got to do that. So that's shoes, ribbon, and I think that's it. So it's almost there. I'm honestly really proud of myself for how it turned out. I was really concerned because I haven't dyed many things before. When the first dye didn't work, I was so stressed that I had done this all wrong, and I should have just gone with colored fabric in the first place, but I'm so glad that I did it. I think it turned out really, really nice. So I'm really happy with that. It is a little bit of a mess inside, I will be honest, because I was definitely rushing to get it done. Fnaf is in 16 days, so I'm in a bit of a rush. I do think I'm gonna get 2 cosplays done still. So if you wanna follow along,
My next video will be working on my other cosplay that I'm doing, which you'll find out in my next video who it is. And then I think I'll have one final video finishing all the accessories and having it and showing you the final cosplays. So that's kind of the plan. Thanks for watching. I hope you follow me along in this journey. I have definitely fallen out of practice with sewing a little bit, so that I definitely struggled more than I thought I would in certain areas. But I'm happy to be back sewing and to keep improving. And I can't wait for you guys to come along with me as I do it. Okay, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.